So like the simple variable that we have seen so many times, we do have one more type of variable called static variable. And the only difference is with the static variable that in the static variable, the variable's value stick with it. Now let me show you the static variable concept by a quick example. So I'm gonna save this file simple.php as static variable.php. Now let's also change its name from here. Now for showing you in a quick example, let's add one simple function here with the name of normal v, means normal variable. First we will demonstrate our normal variable, then we will see the static variable, and then you can easily differentiate the difference between them. So for that I'm gonna add here a new variable with the name of value, and let's equal this variable with 1, and on the next line I'm just gonna echo this variable of value, and let's concatenate it with the br tag to make it nice while outputting. Okay, now let's call this function couple of times. So let's call it couple of times. Now we have this file of static variables.php inside my php course folder. So inside my php course folder, I have this file of static variables.php. Now you can see we got 4 times 1 because we are calling our function 4 times in our editor. So let's add here one increment statement, and let's make it right after the echo statement. So every time make this value to be plus plus, means increment it. Now saving this one out. Now if I refresh this page again, nothing happened. So this is the normal variable. Now let me show you the static variable. So for static, I'm gonna add here a new function with the name of static variable v, and inside this function we are gonna need all of this, and this is the simple variable. For making any variable static, you just have to add the static before the name of your variable, and then your variable will be static. So for calling this function, all we have to do, we have to call it by using the function calling, and that is static v. So I'm gonna call it couple of times, 4 times. Now before doing anything, let's remove this value plus plus increment from here. Now saving this one out. Now if I refresh my page again, now you can see we still got the 1 1. So if I add here the increment value plus plus that we have right here, and now if I save this one out and refresh my page, then you can see we got 1 1 1, then we got 1 2 3 4. So let's make it to static so that you can see. Refreshing it again, now you can see we got first time 1, then second time 2, third time 3 and 4. So it means that by making this variable static, this increment is working perfectly. Although we don't have any type of condition on that, but when the value execute and it print on the screen, then on the next increment, it make the next value, next this function call to do this increment. And in here, when we are doing the increment, so on this function call we will have the simple 1, and on this simple function call we still have the 1. Why? Because after doing all of this code, we are incrementing it, and on the next function call instead of having this incremented value, it's gonna take the old value. But in case of static, when we are incrementing it, then instead of having the old value, it's gonna have the new value of increment. So the first time our output will be 1, second time it will be 2 because it's gonna add the increment from here, third time it will be 3, and the fourth time it will be 4. So this is called the static variable. By using, you can stick with the one value and you can use it over and over every time with the change value.